Meanwhile, China's lack of urgency in addressing the coronavirus outbreak has led to some rather disastrous effects. A set of secret government documents now reveal as to how China had delayed its reaction in the initial phase of the outbreak, placing millions of lives at risk. Now, top Chinese officials, in fact, delayed warning the public for at least about several weeks. Now, it's being said that at a time when each hour and each day was crucial, Beijing knew that people had begun crisscrossing the country ahead of the Chinese Lunar New Year. They had to be warned, but President Xi Jinping had maintained pretty stoic silence. Now, finally, on the 20th of January, he'd sent out a public warning about a deadly virus. Remember, the very first case of this virus had been reported on the 17th of November. So for over a month, China had not made that there was a new virus that was doing the rounds public. And when they did, it was too late, because by then nearly about 3,000 people had been infected but remained undetected. China had several opportunities to inform the public about the virus, but top officials in Beijing got to work only after the first case of the coronavirus was detected outside of China. On the 13th of January, Thailand reported its first case of COVID-19. On the 14th of January, the head of China's National Health Commission laid out his rather grim assessment of the situation in a teleconference with the provincial health officials. His memo stated, and I quote him here, "The epidemic situation is still severe and complex. It is the most severe challenge since SARS in 2003, and it is likely to develop into a major public health event." It was only after this conference that China had initiated its emergency response to the viral outbreak. Now, on the 15th of January, Beijing had put the Center for Disease Control and Prevention to work. The National Health Commission distributed a 63-page set of instructions to provincial health officials. Now, the plan was to identify, isolate, test and treat all cases of the coronavirus nationwide. But officials were strictly instructed not to share anything on the internet. Now, despite the National Health Commission's warning, Beijing did not inform its citizens. Officials continuously downplayed the threat. On the 15th of January, Li Qun, the head of China's emergency response, remained pretty adamant that the risk of human-to-human transmission was still very low. Now, Beijing had sent about 2 experts teams to Wuhan since the first cases of the strange flu had been detected in late December. Now, both the teams ruled out human-to-human transmission. On the 16th of January, the leader of the second team fell ill due to the virus soon after returning to Beijing. Even then, China reportedly chose to delay issuing a public warning. On the 19th of January, over 130 people were officially ill with COVID-19. Cases began to surface across the country. Shenzhen recorded its very first case on the 19th of January. And finally, on the 20th of January, China's President Xi Jinping issued his first ever public statement on the viral outbreak, asking people to take it seriously. Now, the early story of the pandemic shows as to how China missed crucial opportunities. Blame it on China's efforts to keep the virus outbreak a secret, or local officials underreporting the cases due to fear of reprisal. It does not matter at this point of time. China should have acted quickly. An early lockdown of Wuhan, remember, which was placed under lockdown on the 23rd of January, could have potentially saved a lot of lives. Now, the world would have been spared of the kind of misery that has not been seen since the end of the Second World War.